Hello? Hey, girl. Hey, sis. Wait. I know I did not just see you put on the t-shirt. Girl, I should have told you our reservation was at 7 o'clock so you would have been there by 8 because you are always late. Always. Okay, sis, I know. I'm just trying to put up some finishing touches on my hair, girl. This lash is trying to come off too, so it's like, I just need a couple more minutes, but I promise you I'm going to be on the way. I promise. Girl, you always gonna be late. But sis, girl, the reason why I called you is because I cannot figure out what to wear. I feel like my outfit right now is giving very much Xenon girl of the 21st century. Like, it's giving very zoom, zoom, zoom. You make my heart go boom, boom, boom. Like, I don't like it. I don't like this. So, what you wearing, girl? Let me see what type of vibe that we gonna be on tonight. You are so silly. But no, sis, I got you. So I just have on this champagne color top right here, my hair in like a mohawk, and then I have on some earrings, some jeans, and some heels, sis. That's about it. But girl, you look good. I don't even know why you talking about Xenon. Girl, you're not giving that. You look great. But sis, I am so excited to see y'all. Like, it's been so long. I just can't wait to have some God talk and just de-stress a little bit. God talk, sis? Sis, God not gonna be able to hear you over them titties. Don't get me wrong. It's not ugly. It's cute. But you have everything all out. Huh, sis? What? These little ant bites? Oh, sis, no. It can't be that bad. I'm weak. But no, sis, for real. Hear me out. Because we did say that we wanted to take this Christian thing more seriously. And then we also did say that we wanted to be married one day. So it's like we have to leave some things up to the imagination. You know, we got to look the part. You know, be more modest. I mean, I guess you are right when you put it that way, sis. How about this? I'm going to go ahead, change my blouse, and then I'll just meet up with you guys later, okay? Okay, perfect, sis. I love to see it. You're really growing, girl. Really growing. But let me know when you're finally on the way to the restaurant, and I'll meet you there, all right? All right. Love you.
It's the lemon squeeze. I'm here for you. You're here for me.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, E, and we are back at it again with another lemon squeeze episode. Please take the time to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We're family here and we would love to have you. All right, so let's get right into it. So this is a podcast style type of episode with a little twist at the beginning. Y'all, don't clown me. Don't clown me, because I don't know, I just felt like switching it up a little bit. So let me know what you think, if you liked it, if you didn't like it. I'm open to it all. So today we're going to be talking about modesty. And a lot of times people focus on modesty kind of like in what somebody is wearing and things like that. But when you refer back to the video and how the girl thought she was modest as long as, you know, she just looked the part. And she felt like as long as she looked the part, then maybe, you know, that's what it takes. So there's this phrase that I read in a book called Church Girl Culture versus Christ by Sophia Carla, called Cosmetic Christianity. And it really made me think, like, in what ways am I just making things look good? So now I'm like, okay, God, well, what is modesty? So you know me, I look in the dictionary, and the definition of modesty says, modesty, the quality or state of being unassuming or moderate in the estimation of one's abilities. Or the quality of being relatively moderate, limited, or small in amount, rate, or level. Or behavior, manner, or appearance intended to avoid impropriety or indecency. I'm sorry, that's just what I think a dictionary sounds like. But those were the definitions. So I'm going to break down this episode into 3 main points. And the first point being, modesty is about how you serve others. So I take a look in the book of Joshua because I'm like, I want to know more about Rahab. What was Rahab's story? So let's take a look. I'm in the book of Joshua, chapter 2, verses 1 through 4. It reads, Then Joshua secretly sent out 2 spies from the Israelite camp at Acacia Grove. He instructed them, "Scout out the land on the other side of the Jordan River, especially around Jericho." So the 2 men set out and came to the house of a prostitute named Rahab and stayed there that night. But someone told the king of Jericho, "Some Israelites have come here tonight to spy out the land." So the king of Jericho sent out orders to Rahab, "Bring out the men who have came into your house, for they have come here to spy out the whole land." Rahab had hidden the 2 men, but she replied, "Yes, the men were here earlier, but I don't know where they were from." Rahab takes in these 2 strangers, these 2 spies. It's one thing to take in a stranger, but she took in some spies. But that's because she believed in what God did. So in verse 8, it says that before the spies went to sleep that night, Rahab went up to the roof to talk with them. And she said, "I know the Lord has given you this land." And then she basically is saying, like, "Look, I know about y'all. Like, I done heard about what y'all's God did in Egypt. Like, he really don't play about y'all. Like, I really heard about all this stuff." And at the end of verse 11, she says, "For the Lord your God is the supreme God of the heavens above and the earth below." She believed in what God had did, so it resulted in her taking in his people, like literally taking them in. And I know me, I don't just let anybody and everybody in my house or in my space. Like that's a big deal. And that really stood out to me because I'm the type of person where I'm not always so receptive to God's people. And it could be things such as like our personalities just don't mix. And it's a reason why I really hate group projects. I do not like group projects. I'd rather just give me the work so I could do it and I turn in and I could just go about my day. But I really admired that about Rahab because she was saying like, look, more of this God that y'all serve and less of me. Like what y'all need me to do. And I know she had to have been afraid or at least super nervous because like, isn't this treason? Isn't this treason? I think it is that she was doing because she was going against her people, her culture, and probably everything she knew. Rahab took a very big risk, but her modesty, bravery, and just overall faith, honestly, was absolutely shown through her action because baby, let me tell you something. Group project E, me working in a group with other people wasn't anything like Rahab. Like I didn't have any of those qualities. I relied on my own extroverted abilities and understanding because I was so used to working alone. It was a lot of E and not much of Christ. I didn't ask anyone if they wanted to contribute any of their ideas or understandings of things. Like, honey, when I tell you, I was even trying to get to know people on a basic level. I was even trying to get to know people on the surface level. I was trying to get this work done and I was trying to get up on out of here. I was trying to, look, we're going to delegate these tasks out and we're all going to get it back. Okay. All right. And we're going to move on. That was me. But had I just practiced some modesty and played the background a bit more, I could have had the opportunity to grow my patience and even gain some inspiration from people who were working around me. Which brings me to point 2, that modesty is a reflection of your heart. Now I know y'all probably like, baby girl, baby, that is so cliche. And I know, but this point really left me exposed, y'all. I felt so exposed. I felt so vulnerable, y'all. Just let me explain. So in the definition of modesty, I noticed it mentioned it's intended to avoid impropriety. So now I'm like, okay, guys, so what does impropriety mean? Because vocabulary is not my strong suit. I'm not very good with enunciating words. Like I had to practice a whole lot because, baby, these words. So it means a failure to observe standards or show due honesty or modesty through improper language, behavior, or character. So now I'm like, dang, like by definition, modesty also is about your language. Like I didn't know that. So I went to Proverbs because when I just think of, I need some wisdom. I need to know something about something. I go to Proverbs. So I went to Proverbs chapter 29, verse 11. It says, "Fools vent their anger, but the wise quietly hold it back." The reason the scripture stuck out to me is because sometimes when I felt justified in my anger, I took that as every opportunity to tell somebody why I felt like they was about nothing. They was never going to be about nothing, honey. Honestly. Because I was angry with that person, I for darn sure wasn't about to hold back my words. Like, that just wasn't a thing. No, ma'am. I wasn't doing it. I thought because I was justified in my anger that I didn't have to respond through the word. But God, I am right. That person is wrong. They did have me messed up. They don't deserve for me to hold back my words. No, they don't. But like clockwork, God always reminds me of the most perfect example of humility and modesty, which is Christ. So in Luke chapter 23, verse 36, the soldiers mocked him, or it says, I'm sorry, y'all, I just be going right into it. But it says, the soldiers mocked him too by offering him a drink of sour wine. So could you imagine he's being beaten, he's being mocked. He probably, all he probably wants is just some water, but they give him sour wine instead. Like, that's low. That's very low. Yeah, I couldn't imagine. But because he had us in mind, because he is humble, modest, meek, because he is love, Christ refrained, just so that way we can be free. And to keep it real, there were times where I didn't refrain from saying certain harmful things to myself. Honestly. Like, I haven't always spoken very modestly to myself. So, for example, it's like thoughts like, oh, you should feel guilty, or you are an imposter. Like, maybe you don't deserve to be here in this space or at this job. Maybe you really just don't deserve it. Or you be tripping sometimes, like your moods be crazy, so you aren't really that desirable. Like, maybe you just need to be by yourself, girl. But not only is Christ's love modest and it refrains, but it also interrupts. When I catch myself talking in those ways, through what Christ did for me now, those thoughts are interrupted with, no, by grace and mercy, you aren't guilty. You don't have these passions and gifts for no reason. You are not an imposter. Your genuine contributions are valuable. And because God woke you up another day with a new opportunity to try again, you do deserve to be here. Even when I'm in depressive moods and it feels like I'm tripping and I can't put verbal words to my thoughts, I am desirable. Christ pursued me when I couldn't pursue myself, so I am loved. And I know it can be so difficult to interrupt those thoughts, y'all. Believe me, I know. But it brings me to my last and final point, which is modesty transforms. In the book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 2, it reads, "Don't copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect." So, at the beginning of the video, sis thought she was helping her friend by telling her to cover up. And she could have very well had good intentions for her friend. Because remember, she was telling her, like, look, sis, we trying to do things different. We trying to follow God. Like, we can't wear certain stuff. Like, we can't do that. Like, girl, you need to change. But sometimes our good intention causes us to be solely solution focused rather than love focused. So when we're solution focused, we're focused on the things that we can fix. Like, I see it, so now I can fix it. So for instance, it's like, just wear a sweater, girl, and you'll look more modest. Or wear a suit, sir, and you'll look more masculine. Or wear a skirt and you'll look more feminine. And then we wonder why it's now all attached to our identity. So it's like, yeah, like, no, I go to church every Sunday. Yeah, I wear my sweaters. I leave things up for the imagination. So I am modest. But things start to change when we're love focused. Now we're trying to see the heart behind the style. Now I'm like, okay, if clothes wasn't a factor, now who are you really? So through love, allowing and accepting God into our life, accountability, and community, now God is transforming some things. Now God gives me a new perspective and way of thinking. Now I can be modest in how I work with people. Because baby, like I said, Group Project E, she wasn't modest. Group Project E wanted to assert herself because she felt like that's how she got things done. But when I'm modest, now I can humble myself. Now I can listen to other people. Now I can work with them. I can also be modest in how I talk to myself. I don't have to be harsh with myself. I don't have to speak poorly and down on myself. I can still speak life and hold myself accountable all at the same time. I can be modest in how I respond to people in situations that want to take me out of my character. Yeah, you pissed me off, but because I'm going to operate in my modesty, I'm gonna hold back a little bit. I'm gonna feel everything that I feel because it's okay to be angry. But because I don't want to hurt you in the process, I'm gonna separate myself. So even when it feels hard, even when it feels like I shouldn't have to, or even if it feels like, man, God, I just don't think I can. I don't think I could talk to myself modestly. I don't think I could talk to this person who did this to me modestly. I don't think I can work with these people at my job modestly because they be trying me. But I really wanted to take this time in this big old conversation of talking about modesty and covering yourself up and this. I wanted to encourage us that with God, modesty, true modesty is possible. So y'all, this was so dope. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'm so interested, very, very interested in hearing people's thoughts and just hearing about what do you think modesty means to you? How does modesty look like to you in your life? Yeah, y'all, this was dope. Please take the time to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until we meet again.
The lemon squeeze.